When a candidate for president of the United States is so sick she's got to leave the 9/11 memorial service halfway through, and then she can't even get into the vehicle under her own power, that's a person who's clearly not well. Now, regardless of political stripes, we wish Hillary Clinton a very speedy recovery, but her illnesses and the fact they've been so carefully hidden begs an important question. What about you? Have you prepared your spouse, your kids, or whoever will inherit your portfolio with all they need to know to understand and succeed with your assets? Let's take a hard look right now. I'm Brian Ellis. This is episode number 227. Hello, SDI Nation. Welcome to the podcast of record for savvy, self-directed investors like you, where we help you take and keep control of your investments. In the last episode, we talked about Bob, who recently passed away, and he left his 3 children with an IRA containing real estate. It was a very valuable IRA, but Bob did not plan for the fact that real estate would have to be divided when he passed away, and the result was predictable and bad, serious legal strife among his 3 children. But the potential for conflict over dividing assets in an inherited IRA is only one challenge when beneficiaries inherit a self-directed retirement account. The other challenge is brought into sharper focus by recent news of Hillary Clinton's health challenges. Now, before we proceed, note that this is not a political analysis, but a financial one. We know that Mrs. Clinton is suffering from a severe case of pneumonia and that she's had a collection of other serious head injuries and illnesses in the past. There's also pervasive discussion in the medical community of the likelihood that she suffers from ongoing neurological problems. Now, whether those things are true or a product of political circus that we're all witnessing right now, one thing we know for sure is true. Mrs. Clinton, just like you and me, she's going to die someday. Now, unlike me, and maybe you as well, Mrs. Clinton and her husband are extremely wealthy, reportedly having a net worth in excess of $100 million. Now, I don't know how or whether the Clintons invest their money, but this issue affects them just like it does me, and it does you. What is the issue? Preparing the next generation to handle the money and the assets. If, God forbid, Hillary and Bill were hit by a train, would Chelsea know how to handle the money that they left behind? More importantly, will your spouse or your children know how to handle the assets you leave behind? It's critical for you to understand this one central concept. Your knowledge doesn't automatically transfer. Your motivations and your plans don't transfer automatically. Not even your IRA or 401k transfer automatically. In each case, you've got to do something to make sure that your assets and the ability to properly manage them ends up in the possession of your loved ones. And nobody can make that happen except you. Now, there are some things that you need to make sure that you do to prepare your beneficiaries for a successful succession into your financial assets. And as I go through this list, ask yourself, do your beneficiaries have this information for your assets? Here we go. Number 1, a clear, detailed list of all the assets and the accounts in which they're held. Number 2, a clear, detailed status report for your assets, including valuation and how to update that valuation, any debt, any recurring or expected expenses, and most likely unplanned expenses, and any risk factors you see. Number 3, thorough financial records. Think in terms of preparation for an IRS audit, because that could happen after you're gone and you won't be available to lend your knowledge. Number 4, a detailed explanation of those assets. For example, what is the asset exactly? Is it a stock or a bond or real estate or precious metal, or what exactly is it? How can it be profitable? How can it lose money? Why did you choose to invest in it to begin with? What were you hoping to accomplish? Number 5, establish a target for your assets. Like if you have specific financial benchmarks you're hoping to achieve with your assets, after which you think they should be liquidated or other actions taken, detail these targets and your intentions. Number 6, a list of resources and relationships needed to manage your assets. For example, if you're leaving real estate behind, you should make sure that you've documented the names and the contact information of your property manager, your insurance companies, your lenders, and any other service providers that you rely on. Document the names of the law firms, the accounting firms, and any other professional services used on your properties. The goal here is for truly simple, seamless transition for your beneficiaries. Finally, number 7, a list of responsibilities of the assets. Again, using a real estate example, each year property taxes have to be paid. Insurance must be purchased. The property must be rented to generate cash flow. These are all examples and there are more, but the point is this. Don't assume that your beneficiaries know any of this. In fact, assume that they know none of it. And don't fail to document everything, even if those responsibilities are presently handled by a management company or other professionals, because at the end of the day, those responsibilities are still the responsibilities of the owner. Now, give yourself a report card on succession planning for your portfolio right now. Forget about whether end-of-life issues are a top-of-mind consideration for you presently, since none of us are guaranteed another day. This is a here and now kind of issue. If your beneficiaries are actually important to you, then you got to do this. And of course, they're important to you. This is important stuff, folks. If you didn't get all of those, check out the list that I've left for you in the description area below. Think seriously about all of this stuff, my friends. Just think of all the stupid mistakes you can make on your first real estate deal. And that is when you're excited about being a real estate investor, when it's your passion. Odds are your beneficiaries may not have your level of passion and enthusiasm about it. So they could be even more prone to make costly mistakes. So do them a favor. Make it easy by leaving clear documentation. There's no other way. And folks, before I go, I want to mention something to you. I found a great way to fund 100% of the cost of most deals, particularly those in the $50,000 to $250,000 range. And the cost to you is no more than the equivalent of a very few points up front and 0 interest on the loan. That's right, no interest. That funding method is to work with my friends Ari and Mike at Fund and Grow. These guys are the experts at establishing 0 interest lines of credit for their clients. They don't tell you how to do it, they do it for you. It is astounding. This is great stuff, and I've seen it work over and over and over again with your fellow listeners. So check them out right now over at sdiradio.com/credit. Again, that's sdiradio.com/credit. You'll be very glad you did. That's all for now, my friends, but I do wonder what you think about something. What are you doing to prepare the next generation to inherit your assets? What things, in addition to those that I've outlined, do you think should be done? Tell me now. You can do that by leaving a comment in the comments area below. And hey, check out the first comment down there that's from me, where I give you one more tip that I'm using, which is not in today's episode, and then tell me what you think. And be sure to click that subscribe button in the lower part of the screen so that you'll be sure to get free updates when we publish new episodes right here on YouTube. My friends, a lot of great things are in the very near future for you as a listener to this show. Hang with me and we will blow your mind. And remember, invest wisely today and live well forever.